Hi everyone. After a day off, we come into Friday, January 10th. This is the Benzinga Pro Moneyball Morning Report. My name is Anne-Marie Band, and we are awaiting the jobs numbers, and so we can see a lot of tight motion. Today looks like the day we are going to have ourselves either a break down into the motion here at 58.37, 57.62, looking at the ES, or a push right back up to 60.70. Hard to say which one. Very hard to say which one, but here's what we know. If we break down and we stall out at these levels noted, they're going to be good buying opportunities. Okay? So you'll want to watch for that to see how it moves. Right now we've got negative momentum. We are looking at the daily. Hourly, you can see it turning sideways because everybody's waiting on this number. And then the breakdown will come after that. If we're staring down the boxes of ranges, 59.76, 59.17, so that's about 60 points, right? It puts us, if we lose the 14 area, it brings us, all the way down to 58.50, right? Which, right around the next liquidity region. We see a clear liquidity area at 58.74, but we don't use that zone as here's where I'm going to buy. We stand on alert and we watch price at those edges. That's going to be the most important thing. I don't think we get all the way back up here at 60.70, but intraday volatility has been massive. And we had a 2-day fade. Maybe we get a Friday rally. I do not know. Sideways action here says we look for the break and we wait for it to confirm. How does that look? Here's some sideways formations. We look for the break. That's the hour. The pullback comes back, holds the sideways congestion, and then closes above the VWAP and above our moving averages. That gives us our breakaway. We're going to be looking for that same sort of thing in any of the charts today, if that is what happens. All right, another space where we're going to see this in all the charts. Sideways motion. Let's go to the daily, right? We can see the wedge that we're building. Old resistance, new support. They tried to hold it here, pushed up to a lower high, tried to hold it here. 3 days so far, not pushing up to a newer high. My suggestion is that this breaks to the south. More definitively, it looks like, than the others. So first pass, we're going to have a solid shakeout that comes right at that number, whatever it happens to be. Deep dips still going to bring buyers into the trading space. It could be very deep, or it could be, a few hundred points. 20,974, 20,690. Let's go to the hourly chart. Again, we can see if we move this up, 20,690 is really fairly down there. Let's look at the range. 21,450-ish, we'll say, baseline event, 21,200. So we're looking at about a 250-point move if it breaks this 21,200 with force, and that will put us at, 21,000 even. And we've got a lot of liquidity there. So this is going to be a very interesting patch to watch in the NQ today. For the YM, I know I sound so droll today. My apologies. I'm very tired. I still have not gotten back my mojo from traveling. All right, here we go. YM, very sideways. Notice, let's take a look at this trend line. Let's shift it just a wee bit. It's got itself a little bit of an apex right there. So again, big move coming. Momentum is downside. This is a pretty important area of support. A lot of traders buying their big liquidity level. That's 42,500. If it holds that zone easily, it could push to 43,140, or it might stall out right in the middle of this, right? We've got all kinds of things going on in the next couple of weeks. I think people are treading lightly, wanting to see what's going on. We stare down the hourly chart, very sideways. From the hourly perspective, we've got 42,580. all the way up to 42,000, maybe even 43,000. So there's 500 points. If we lose this low, that puts us back at around 42,000 on the fade into that space. Dips are going to find buyers. Why? Because the momentum is sideways. So 42,500, 42,580, going to be a sweet spot to watch for reflexive motion that gives us our buying formations to stare down for the day. If we lose that level, we'll hit lower. If we bounce up, the sideways formation says that we should fade at around the 42,900, potentially 43,000, and then we move right back into the range, which is really what I think we're going to sit in until we see what the new administration unfolds in the space. Very nice bounce off that 91. Wow, has that number in micro Bitcoin been just huge? 91,500. Notice it's got about a $200 sloshy spot, maybe even $400 sloshy spot in these ranges. There is, so that 91,500 gives a, I'm going to move this down. Yep. Gives us a nice clean spot. Where's it headed to? Well, it's sitting right at resistance, trying to get over aggressive momentum here. So we should see a fade into the higher lows if it holds value area low at 93,500 or so. Going to make a nice buy to the upside. Momentum is up. Pullbacks are buy zones. Very strong momentum here. So the fade into the moving averages fairly likely until we get the next break either to the north or the south. Let's take a look at oil. Yeah, this is very interesting. So here we are coming right up. Here's the side action that I mentioned yesterday. I said, hey, listen, pullbacks are buy zones, trying to break out. We need to hold this 73 area, maybe 72.30. And boy, did it bounce. This morning, the news that's got us sort of off the rails here is we see some disruption. Let me see what's going on here. We see some disruption in refining across the world. We also see some folks saying platforms are shut down. We saw that Delta said they would be increasing guidance and the like, which means they're going to be using more jet fuel. Very, very, very interesting things. A lot of energy news today. And so it's pushing us right up into this range. Look, it's resistance. 78.50 is the next one, but pullbacks are buy zones. A lot of people talking about, oil's overheated. I got to tell you, folks, energy is going to be a big deal. It's going to be a really big deal. Watching for the pullbacks that are the buy zones. And I still like the buy point at 72.50-ish. If it comes into 72.50-ish and we can't get it, get up over 73 and then it moves. But this spike, last time we did that, we had very high momentum and it gave it all back. And this jobs number might do that. But the trick is the pullback, I believe, is still the buy zone. I really do. And until that buy zone breaks at around that 72.30-ish, I'm going to say dips are buys until they're not. I know. Sorry. It's terrible that I have to say that, but we know how the market goes. Bullish formations looks like a test of a key resistance. I think 2,700 is a key resistance zone. But if the move is sharp, it could move another 40 points. Okay? And so that 40 points to the upside could give us a place to have another pullback. Here's why this one's messy. We have higher highs here and lower lows here. So could we be building some kind of megaphone where this line is no longer important and it now becomes, it now becomes this line? Could be. Once we get up over 2,700, buyers are going to step in there. right? We've got solid momentum. Daily chart says pullbacks or buy zones. It is breaking out. Gold can move in these savage motions and then pull back and then go savagely again and then pull back. And that is really the way that this price action looks today. If we stare down the 1 hour chart, we can see it's a straight up line right now. Absolutely straight up. And so breaching 2704, it's run pretty long in the tooth here, right? Ever since literally January the 6th, it's literally straight up. Probably time to take a breath into the jobs report. Let's take a look at SPY. As you know, the 8 to 9 hour candlestick, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. candlestick, gives us a relative range that we either stay in or break out of. Yesterday, we stayed right in it. Today, I think we're going to break out. We're going to break out of yesterday's area for sure. And then we'll see what happens. All right. But we could be building a very large 8 to 9 o'clock candle, depending on what the jobs number is. Look at the cross current of trend. Overall trend is down. Keltner channel, lower end, is pointing up. Momentum, completely sideways. Top of the Keltner channel, pointing down. Look at all the cross currents. What does that tell you? Cross currents? Yes. Ding, ding, ding. Yes, absolutely. Cross currents. So what does that mean? It means there's a range trading event. So if it dips very low, very being a relative term, if it comes into the value area low, 584 or 580, and then begins a reflexive bounce, beautiful place to buy. If it bounces all the way up here, listen, it's got to clear the top of this Keltner band before we know definitively, hey, I'm not going up any higher. All right? It's got to clear it. And so far, that Keltner band says 593, value area high, 595. That should be the zone that we fade from. If you say to yourself, hey, I got to wait all day, possibly, but look at your 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. candlestick. You're going to buy on the bottom if you're so inclined, and you're going to cover on the top if you're so inclined, or you can sell at the top of whatever it is that your 8 a.m. candlestick is showing. Sell at the top, buy at the bottom, and the risk is going to have to be defined by you in this messy slog. Let's take a look at Qs. Sorry about me banging my mouse around. It's a laser mouse, but I still find myself lifting it up because I'm so used to those stupid balls that we used to have way back in the Stone Age. All right, so here we are, same sort of problem. Look, trend down to flat. Keltner band underneath, sloping slightly upward. Keltner band below, above, sloping slightly downward. Two different directions. Okay, cross current. Where's momentum? Dead at zero. Dead at zero. It's waiting for a catalyst. What's the catalyst going to do? It's going to cause reflexive motion. That reflexive motion is going to come up into our resistance. We'll be able to take a short. Or, if you're Lightning McQueen, then, sorry, reference to watching cartoons with kids, way back in the day. If you're Lightning McQueen, you can go, hey, I'm going to trade inside of this. I don't like that idea at all. But I do have a gut feeling that we are going to see downside pressure here. So the upshots are likely to be sell zones, but because we have so many cross currents, momentum being flat, Keltner bands going in opposite directions, sideways VWAP, we've got ourselves a range. And until the range breaks, we should play the range. All right, that's it for me, folks. I won't be very active today. I've got relatives coming in and no midday Moneyball report. And I will see you on the streams. Take care.